Okay, girls. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get started. My name is Jennifer Rasberry. I am Black Status Presenter. So crazy to say that for the first time. Feels weird kind of rolling off my tongue. So a little bit about my story real quick. I joined in January of 2014 with Unique. I have twin boys, and I had just had them 5 months prior to joining. So they were born in August. They spent a long time in the NICU. So 69 days and 103 days in the NICU. So when I was asked to join and they were 5 months old, I was like, there is no way I can do this. I'm working full time. I've got twin boys. I cannot do this. Well, finally I decided I'm just going to give it a try. If I could just make a couple $100, because I had to be off work for a long time, so we lost some money. I thought, if I can just make a couple hundred extra bucks to help supplement our income, that'll be perfect. I'll be fine with it. Okay, that was kind of my starting point and where I was at when I joined. So flash forward now 2 years, and you see where I'm at on my shirt. Had to mark off the future. So anyways, I wanted to kind of just come on here and talk to you about some things that I learned over the past 2 years in my journey with Unique. These are not probably all 10 that some other Black presenter would say that they, learned. It's their story, so they probably have learned some other things. But these are just some things that really just stuck out to me. I think it was the night after I found out that I hit Black status. I just jotted these down real quick. Like they just came to my mind. They were fresh in my head. Some of them were similar, and I'm not going to go in any particular order. These are just things that really stuck out to me, and I thought, I really need to share this with some other people, because people ask all the time, what does it take to get to Black status? And, it's just kind of different for everybody. We all have our own stories, okay? So I might be glancing this way every so often because I made myself a little note page. So the first thing that really stood out to me that I thought was important was to not quit. I can't tell you how many times in the past 2 years that things got hard, and I wanted to quit. I wanted to give up. I wanted to throw in the towel. I thought, I can't do this. We've been through back orders before with mascara. When I first started, it was a back order madness. There was a shipping madness. I wanted to give up. There were times when I couldn't get parties booked to save the life of me. There were times where it was days and weeks where I didn't have any sales coming in. And I thought, I'm not good at this. I cannot do this. So I would have those moments where I did, and I would call Ashley. Y'all probably know. I talk about her. She's my best friend. She's one of my elites. And I would say, I just don't know if I can do this anymore. I've got too much going on in my life, and I don't have the time for this. I don't have the patience for it. Okay, but here's the thing. I didn't give up. I wanted to, and I may have stopped for a second, and I may have thought, okay, I can't do this anymore. But then I thought, I was brought to this for a reason. There was a reason that I was brought to this, and I'm going to continue to push forth, and I'm going to continue to do it. And I'm telling you, the reason that I'm still here 2 years later and I'm at the top of the company is because of all those times that I thought I wanted to give up. I didn't. I kept going. So you're going to have those times where you feel like giving up. It's going to be, what do you do during those times that makes you the leader to the top of the company or not? It's going to make you grow or it's not. Okay, so remember that when you feel those things and you want to give up, because you will. I promise that you will have those times where you want to give up. So just remember, don't give up. And if you're feeling like you want to give up, contact somebody. Call somebody that's close to you with the company, or call your sponsor and say, okay, I'm not feeling this. And then y'all talk it out and then move past it. Just move past it. Remember that, okay? So something else. This would be number 2, consistency. Consistency. It's so, so key. If you're on my team Go Big or Go Home, you will hear me preach this. I talk about this all the time. You have to be consistent. So that's consistently talking about Unique, consistently posting on your Facebook wall, consistently having parties, being consistent. So you post on your Facebook for a day and then you don't post for 2 or 3 days. That's not consistent. For 2 years now, I have always posted on my Facebook about Unique. You probably notice it's not just buy here, buy this, do this, join this party. It's not that. I'm sharing my love for the products. I'm sharing my love for the company. I vary my post. Okay, so I'm consistent with it. So when I'm hosting a party, I'm consistent with my parties. I'm consistently hosting parties, or trying to, anyways. Like I said, there have been times where it's been hard to get parties. But people are watching you, and so they're watching to see if you're going to be consistent. They're watching to see if you're going to fall off or not. And so if you start posting and then you go weeks without talking about Unique, they're going to be like, well, is this really important to her? Is this something she really wants to do? So they're watching you to see what you're going to do, because most people have this idea about MLM companies that people don't make it big, and that people are just kind of flighty with it, and they do some of it and then they drop off. Because honestly, that's what happens with a lot of people in MLM companies. They get in it and then they drop off. So people are going to be watching you. So be consistent in everything you do. I'm telling you, that is one of the things that has helped me get to black. Consistency. And that goes hand in hand with branding yourself, okay? Those go together. And branding yourself is basically talking about Unique and sharing your love for Unique on Facebook and other things like that, okay? So, okay. The third one is never become complacent, okay? Now, I've done this. It's hurt me. I think this is what took me a while to get to black, probably longer than some others, because I became complacent. So when you hit green status, or even before that, so you've promoted, you've gotten to where you wanted to be, and you kind of ride that promotion for a while. And you're like, okay, so this is good. I'm just going to continue to ride this for a little bit. And you don't work as much. You don't enroll as many people. You're not hosting as many parties. You just become complacent. Because you think, well, I've made it to this status. I'm a leader now, so I can just sit back a little bit. Wrong. Because when that happens, you're not growing your business. When you become complacent, you don't grow. And so I'm telling you, if you're at green, if you're at purple, if you're at orange, you're at blue, whatever status you may be at, don't become complacent. If you want this, and you want to get to the top of the company, you've got to continue to enroll, you've got to continue to party, and you've got to continue to train your girls. So don't sit back. I'm telling you, I promise, you'll watch. Don't watch, actually. Learn from what I'm saying right now and don't become complacent, because I'm in a boat now where I luckily had a really high PRS last month, and that was one of the things that helped get me to black. And so I have circle issues, and you'll probably hear people say that when your elites start to break out and you've got to maintain that $10,000 circle to get you to black. People will say, well, I've got circle issues, and that's what they mean, okay? And so number 4 is going to kind of go with what I was saying about complacency, is if you're not partying, your business isn't going to grow. We say book, sell, sponsor for a reason. If you're not partying, your business isn't going to grow. I will tell you, whenever I was not partying, I wasn't growing. So I wasn't enrolling people. I didn't have a high PRS. I wasn't meeting new people and networking and getting out. That is the backbone to our business, is parties. That's how you meet people. That's how you meet people outside of your circle, okay? Because people get stuck in, well, I don't know very many people. There's not many people around me that will buy, or everybody around me sells. I wouldn't be good at this. Okay. So you got to get out of your circle. Getting out of your circle is by partying with other people. You're going to meet people that live in other states. You're going to meet people that live in a lot of other different places that you would have never met if you wouldn't have partied. Okay. So remember that. Same with home parties too. Okay, this is kind of a big one. I kind of think all these are big ones, but this is another big one. So this is going to be your number 5, or 6. I've lost count now. Not everyone in this business is going to want it as bad as you. If you can remember that, move on from those people and focus on your runners and focus on the people that want it. You'll be just fine. We get hung up in the fact that not everybody we enroll and everybody that they enroll wants it like you do. And we can't get off of the fact that they don't want to make it big too. And we get stuck on them and trying to push them to do something that they don't want to do. So identify those people that want it and focus on them. So you should be spending 80% of your time should be spent with the 20% of your people that want it, okay? So focus on those girls. Don't waste your time. I'm not saying, okay, I'm not saying don't work with girls that want it, okay? And you're going to have those girls that are just hobbyists and that just want this for a hobby. They don't want much out of it. Don't focus all your energy there. Watch your back office. Watch those girls that participate in challenges, that are in trainings, that are involved, and their PRS is high, and they're enrolling people. Run with those girls, okay? Be in contact with them. So now, your journey to black is going to be your own story. It's nobody else's story. Don't try to make it somebody else's story, okay? So I have my own story, clearly, that got me to black. But let me just tell you what happened was, in November, I was really close to hitting black. And there was a ton of girls that went black that month. And I was defeated. I was so defeated. I was down about it. And I just couldn't get over the fact that I didn't hit it that month. It took me about 24 hours because I'm not the person to dwell and stay. I'm like, okay, I can't be here. I got to move on. I'm going to figure out something to make it better. But it's hard not to compare, okay? So there were girls that had turned black that had been in it shorter than amount of time than me. And I was like, God, why can't I get there? Why can't I get there, you know? And don't let that totally defeat you. Remember, you're creating your own story. It's your story. So don't try to make your story somebody else's and to mirror what somebody else is doing to get to black, okay? So it's your journey. You create your story to get to that level, all right? That's what makes you unique, and that's what makes it your story, is your black journey, all right? I know it's hard because we're women, and that's just kind of a natural thing that we do, is we want to compare, and we want to say, well, why can't I get it as fast as they got it? And what are they doing different than I'm doing, okay? Just don't compare. Just do what you know you've got to do. Work with your upline to get you there, and then let it be your story. Okay, something else, follow leaders. So follow other network marketing leaders that are in this business, but then also other leaders too, just not just unique leaders. So get connected with other leaders that are going to build you up and lift you up. That is going to help you too, because if you are lifting each other up in those moments of times that you feel down or you're not feeling this, that will help. That's something that I've learned that has helped me too, is to be surrounded by people that are going to really help me in this business, reaching out to others and not trying to know it all myself, because we all know I don't know it all. So this is number 8, I believe. Bury yourself in professional development. So in those months where you feel like, well, not much is going on, I've recruited some and I'm selling, but I've got some time, there's some other things that I want to do. I want you to bury yourself in professional development, whether that's watching videos from other people. I know we post videos and we share things on our team page that have some things. Watch those. There's tons of building leaders books out there. There's tons of network marketing books. You've got to learn, okay? So whether that's reading, watching videos, anything like that, you've got to do that. It has made me a better leader, reading some of those things. It's made me a better coach. It's just made me all around better, okay? Do I need to do more of it? Absolutely, I need to do more of it. I need to continue to do it. It's something that you need to always do. That's just me. Anyways, I'm a natural learner. I want to continue to learn as I'm in this business. And that's just me, and just in my life in general, I like to learn, okay? So that's something else that has helped me get to this point, is that I've been a continual learner this whole entire time, and I have tried to find things that is going to help me be a better leader for the girls that are underneath me, okay? All right, building relationships and loving others. These last two kind of go together. You have to build relationships with your girls, and you have to love them, okay? So don't just always talk about unique with them. Get to know them on a personal level, family level. Ask about their kids or sharing their excitement with things. They may not always share with you, but get to know them. Okay, that's one of the things that I keep saying. Okay, you like that? Sorry about that. That's one of the things that is nice about our business is that we really get to build friendships with one another. I didn't really think I needed a friendship base or a sisterhood before I joined because I had a good group of girlfriends. You don't realize it until you're in it, and you're like, wow. I mean, that's just amazing. There's something that I wasn't missing it really, but you just didn't really know how awesome it was to have. And it is something that I'm so thankful for now. My wife's sister is so thankful. Girls that I would have never met otherwise that I consider good friends now that I talk to. So that's another thing. Build relationships with people. Okay, don't just sign them up and just sign them up to make a buck off of them. See what they need. Get to know, like I said, get to know what they're about and their families, etc., etc. Okay, y'all know what that means. Build relationships. And the other thing, too, that goes with that, and this is going to be the 10th one, is getting to a point when you can care about changing the lives of other people before changing your own life. When you can truly care about those on your team and wanting to see them succeed and them grow more than you care about your promotion and about your paycheck, big things will happen for you. I promise. When my last Elite Marcy went green, yes, it was going to make me black. And was that going to be exciting for me? Absolutely, it was going to be exciting for me. But I cared more about seeing her team go green and the promotions that happened on her team more than I did my own. Honest to God, I cared more about that. Marcy had just had a baby, and she had a newborn at home. She had 2 other boys, and I was bound and determined to help her get there so that she could have the extra income, she could be home with her baby and enjoy her kids. And then the girls on her team, she had a girl that promoted to pink that it was like she promoted to green for me. It was huge. I announced it on Facebook because it was so important to me because I knew how beneficial it was for her. So that is something that really, really is important. And it may be hard to think that way or have that mindset when you first start. And you're in a place where you've got to make this money because you've got to make the bills and you've got to make ends meet. It's hard to have that mindset. But caring about somebody else and believing in them is going to help you. It really is. And plus, it's just a genuine thing to do, Along with that, okay, I'll answer that question in a second. Along with that is, I'm a pretty confident person, and I believe in myself for the most part. I have my times when I don't. But there are some people that are under you that are working, and they don't believe in themselves, okay? And all it takes is for somebody else just to believe in them and to let them know, girl, you're only so much away from this promotion. Do you know you can do this? Do you know how easy it is? Let's break it down. Let's talk about what we can do to make this happen. I know you can do it. You've got it in you. The simple fact of believing in somebody else can make the world of a difference, okay? So try believing in somebody else, including yourself. Believe in yourself. That's what's going to help you get to this point, too. I've had doubts along the way of whether I'd get to the top or not. And for a while, I was like, okay, I'm just going to be stuck at purple forever. But I'll be here because I love it. I love doing what I'm doing. I love this company. I love the mission. So I'm okay being at this level. But I learned that March 1st, when I woke up, I was doing it. I was going to make this happen. I was determined, and I wasn't going to stop. And it did. It happened because of my mindset. You got to get this right. You got to get your mindset right and believe that you can do it and believe in others, okay? So those are pretty much, in a nutshell, the top 10 things that I've learned in getting to black. There's a lot of other things that I've learned along the way, a lot of roadblocks that I've hit along the way and that I've had to overcome. But those are the things that really stood out to me that I thought was extremely beneficial to my company and still is. It's something that I still practice, and I still believe in train my girls. Because if you want to grow, you've got to remember those things. Somebody asked a question about whenever I got stuck in a rut with my parties, what did I do? Okay, so I changed up my parties a little bit. So if I was doing the same parties, which I was doing like lash bashes a lot at first, so it was a lot about the mascara. And then I kind of got tired of doing those parties because I was doing the same ones over and over again. So I changed it up. I kind of do some junk to spunk or tricks of the trade parties. I ran a Love the Skin You're In event in my VIP group. So I just had to change it up a little bit. And then also, whenever I struggled getting parties and booking parties, I went back to following up. Okay, so when I felt like I could not get any parties, I just went back to my customer list and I just started following up with people again. And then whenever I would start going back through those follow-ups and getting back in contact with my customers is whenever I started to see the parties pick back up. And then when those parties started to pick back up is when I started meeting new people. I started something new in parties too, which y'all may already do this, but I started trying to offer parties within that party. So like I offered the hostess a free lipstick or whatever. If she got 2 or 3 parties booked off of that party, that really helped boost up how many parties I was doing every month too, because it was an incentive for that hostess to get her friends to host parties with me because she got a little something extra as well. Okay, so I noticed that made a difference in my numbers in my parties that I did. I still, like this month, I already have 3 parties scheduled. So even at this level, I'm still partying and I'm still enrolling people. And that's something that you have to do. Some people get this misconception that whenever leaders get to black, that they don't have to do as much or they just get to make money off their team. And that's absolutely not true. We still have to party and we still have to build. Because again, what happens is, and what this comp plan is built around is building leaders. So when your leaders leave you, your first line leaders leave you, you still have to have a circle of people that are going to sustain your 10,000 circle that you have to have at black status. So as your leaders are leaving, which I had 4 leaders leave, and I still had to have that that $10,000 circle when they left me, okay? And I hope to continue to build more leaders that are first line, but I've got to build my circle up too, because if I don't build my circle up and they leave me, then I won't have that $10,000 circle. So I hope that answered your party about getting stuck in a rut. And I kind of tell my girls too, like if something's not working, don't keep doing it. If it's not working for you, move on to something else. Try something different. Change things up a little bit, okay? And maybe that'll help too, because I know we all kind of get stuck in a rut about things. I think I have a YouTube video, and I made it a while back for my team. It's called Stuck in a Rut. If you're stuck in a rut, what to do. So you can watch that and that may help. I don't know if it's just about parties or just in general. So anyways, you can check that out. Does anybody else have any more questions? I hope you guys were able to learn a few things about my little journey to black. It's crazy to say that. It doesn't seem real still. It hasn't set in. People are asking me, has it set in? And it really hasn't yet. It just doesn't. It feels weird. I really don't know how to explain it. It just feels weird. I don't know if I mentioned to a lot of you know this about me, but when I was telling you a little bit about myself at the beginning, I work full time doing this too. I am a full-time reading coach for a school, and so I'm pretty busy with that, and a lot of times bring work home with me too. So yeah, sometimes I may should be in the crazy house with everything that I have going on with my family, working full time, and then doing this. But it's hard. I don't want to give any of it up because I love all of it. I love everything I do. And so it's just one of those things that I find time for. So when people tell me they don't have time to do this, you can imagine my reaction to that when people say, I don't have time. I've got too much going on. I'm like, come hang out with me for a little bit and see what I do. You make some sacrifices, but it is so worth it. So worth it. Any questions? All right, ladies. Well, thanks for joining me today, and I hope to see you guys soon. Y'all have a great rest of your afternoon. Bye.